Good morning, students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Just a second. I will share the screen. Okay. Students, during last lecture, we discussed about the IO processor and the IO communication. Okay. And that we discuss about three types of communication, or we can call that as IO management also. Programmed IO, interrupt driven IO, and DMA. Okay. Today we are going to see about the types of operating system. But in your textbook, they have given that as the operating system zoo. Okay. Under the topic operating system zoo, they have given types of operating systems. Okay. There are many, as you are seeing in the screen, there are many types of operating system. The first type is mainframe operating system. Okay. Mainframe operating system generally used in a big data center. For example, Google data center, Amazon data center. So in corporate's data center, the mainframe operating system will be used. Because the main reason for using mainframe operating systems in big corporate database is storage. Storage should be very, very big storage is needed in the corporate database needs more big memory. Okay. So to access the big memory, we have mainframe operating system. Okay. So mainframe operating system is a high-end operating system. It will have more IO capability. That means after stored the data in the database, in corporate database, the transaction would be more. That means many people from different places, they will take the data from the database and they will change, update the data, they will send it. So this will the frequency of the IO operation, input output, read and write operation will be very high. Okay, that's why we can say this mainframe operating system supports high IO capacity. Okay, and then there are 1,000 number of diskettes will be there, and millions gigabytes capacity is very common for mainframe operating system. this will be used in high-end web server. All the corporate will not use mainframes, but very high-end corporates where actually more number of data should be stored, that will be used, that will use the mainframe operating system. Okay. Now the data center, this is a old book. Okay. So before we started to use cloud, they printed this book. So they did not mention anything about the cloud. Okay. Nowadays, the big corporates, of course, they have their own data center. Many of the corporates they moved to cloud. Okay, because otherwise, data center if you build that will lead to more costs. Okay, it is very expensive. Okay, but here, as per in your book, big data center, corporate big data center, generally using mainframe operating system. Okay, that's a kind of operating system. Okay, mainframe operating system, where it will be used in high transaction based big corporate data center. Data center, corporate's data center will use this kind of operating system. Okay. This operating system is very lengthy operating system, very complex operating system, which is created to use in big high-end data center. And this will provide more I/O capability. That means many people at a time simultaneously can read and write the data. Okay, in this using this mainframe operating system. Okay, if you want to imagine, the data center will have thousands of diskettes. Okay, and inside those diskettes, millions gigabytes of data capacity will be available to store the data. Okay, this mainframe operating system provides three different kind of services. Three different kinds of services. Okay, what are those? The first one is batch processing. Will be supported by mainframe operating system. Batch processing. Second one, transaction processing will also be supported by mainframe operating system. Third one, time sharing processing will also be supported by mainframe operating system. Okay. So what are the three different types of processes will be supported by the mainframe operating systems? Students, we are seeing about only the first one, first type. Okay. So what are the three types of services will be provided by the mainframe operating system, or three different kinds of processes can be performed using mainframe operating systems are? Number one, batch, BATCH, batch. Batch processing system and transaction processing system and time sharing processing system. Batch processing, transaction processing, time sharing processing. Okay. All these three kinds of processing you can perform using mainframe operating system. These are called three services. Three different services will be provided by mainframe operating system. Now you have to know what is batch processing, what is transaction processing, what is time sharing processing. Okay. Batch processing. When you consider batch process, it is used, batch processing may usually routine jobs will be processed. If any routine job, that means consecutive jobs one after another, without any human intervention, the processing should happen. Okay, so those processing, those kind of execution require batch processing. Okay, to easily understand, now you are getting EB bill. Okay, electricity bill. Okay, how much electricity you have consumed at your home. Based on that, the calculation, unit calculation would be, and you will get the electricity bill every month. Okay. Now, when it is getting printed in using the big server, using big server, when it is getting printed, every time the person who's printing, no, he will not give input. For example, in particular area, take that sector 25. Okay, so sector 1025 in particular area, cyan or something like that. So their addresses, for example, door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, like that for each and every house, they will not give input and print. Okay, just initially they will give the input as a date as a table format. For example, you can imagine in the table all the house addresses and the unit consumed and electricity bill for particular month would be there in the table. That's a single table, but which will have a large amount of data. Okay, the entry, the person who's entering the data, he will initially enter that data. That's it. After that, one after another, the printing will happen continuously without the human intervention. Every time he will not type the door number and address and unit consumed and all. Once he will feed that information, and at last he has to collect the printout of all the printed copy of all the what all the houses. Okay, electricity bill of all the houses. Okay, so these kind of processing is called the batch processing. Batch processing means what? Entire batch, the each and every job will not be executed one after another. The complete batch will be given as a input once at the beginning of the processing, and the processing will automatically happen by taking the values one after another. Okay, without human intervention. Okay, so these kind of processing is called a batch processing. Okay, next processing is called a transaction processing. This is very common for online booking, for online reservation, room booking and flight booking applications and all. What will happen? Database would be there. The database will be updated simultaneously. For example, one person booked the flight ticket, and then after some days later, he's canceling. So in his entry, the seats which he booked, no, that will be freed. Okay, in the database. Then only that will allow others can book. Okay, so like that, booking, not only booking, any online application which needs more transaction. Transaction means many people will give the request to book the flight, particular flight seat, and then they will select the this a category, and then they will select if they want to add the food with the charge, with the flight charge. So all these are many options. People will book and then cancel, and then the database should be keep on getting updated. Okay, so this is not only for one flight. Okay, you have to imagine for all the flights of, for example, if you have taken Air India. Okay, so all the flights which are run by the Air India, everything will be all the users, people will use one application. Okay. So the data, you imagine the database. Okay, they have to enter the flight number first, and then route, source and destination, starting place and destination, and then timing, and then all other details. Okay, how many number of seats they want, how many. Okay, so these transaction, if you look at the database of Air India, what will happen simultaneously? Sometimes 5 minutes, if you look at simultaneously, the booking canceling, that will happen. Okay, so high transaction will happen. Okay, batch processing may no human intervention. Here the people, database is a single database, but used simultaneously by different people in different location, remote location. Okay, all will make changes, all will uh, what all will use the same application, so that application will have only one database. So in that one database, heavy data transaction would be there. Okay, so that is called a transaction processing. Okay, so transaction processing handle large number of small requests. Okay, large number of requests are more, but simply booking the seat or something like that. Okay, so change at a time will be very less. Okay, but the number of changes required or requested or more. Okay, so those kind of transaction processing are called transaction processing. Okay, now you understood batch processing and transaction processing. Okay, batch processing process routine jobs. Batch processing will process routine jobs without human intervention. Okay, initially it will give the input as a batch and it will be automatically executed one after another. Okay, by taking the data from the database which you fed in initially in before the execution. Okay, so that is batch processing. Transaction processing handles very large number of transactions request, but a large number. Okay, large number but small request. Okay, next time sharing. Time sharing, what will happen? Multiple remote users querying a big database based on the available time. For example, um, railway booking will open morning 10 to 5. Okay, not 10 to 5. Oh, I assume that in a peak time and all, in festival time and all, just to 2 hours. Okay, so 9 to 11 it will be open. Okay, in that time period, how many requests are coming? There would be very heavy requests only at time period. Okay, so which request will be given preference and which request will be for which request the database should not open. Okay, so that is based on sharing time. For example, the database will be open 2 hours. In that 2 hours, assume that 10,000 requests are coming. Okay, so in this in one particular any instance of time, there might be more, exactly same time there may be more than one number of requests. Okay, getting it, 2 hours the transaction is open in the database, only 2 hours. 2 hours may also each and every second the people can what make booking and cancellation and all. But the booking cancellation happen in different time, it is okay. But in a particular particular instant of time, more than one number of requests come in the same time, then what will happen? Any one or two transaction would be selected. Okay. Then all other transaction would be denied. So the denied transaction, what will happen? Again, they will request. If they request, suppose they will request again, and then that request will come in some other instant of time, no? So in that other instant of time, no other transactions, then that transaction will be considered. There also collision happens, then that transaction also will not be considered. So like this, at a time, more number of transactions. That is called time sharing processing. Okay, how much timing is there in that? Suppose one transaction to reach the database, assume that it takes 1 second. Okay, so 2 hours may how many seconds are there? Only those many number of transaction can be accepted. No. Okay, so the time will be shared among the transactions. Only those many number of transactions will be allowed. So this is called time sharing processing. Okay, batch processing, transaction processing, time sharing processing. Okay, so all these different types of processing can be performed by which operating system? Our mainframe operating system. Okay, there are many examples we can say a mainframe operating system. Okay, a very popular example is OS/360. This is name of the operating system. Okay, OS/360. Okay, so that is the example for mainframe operating system. Even our Unix also, in many places Unix is used as a some version of Unix will be used as what mainframe computers. Okay, so Unix, Linux, OS 360, all these can be used as a mainframe operating system. Okay, second type of operating system is server operating systems. So if any what we can say, if any concerns, corporates, they want to keep a server for them. Even for in our college we have a server. Okay, the server is common for all the labs which are there in the fourth floor. Okay, so that server, mm, you can't use now. When you compare in our, we compare our college computer laboratory, there are 5 laboratories. All the 5 laboratories have say single server room. Okay, in that there are 2 server machine. Okay, but inside the server room we have 2 server machine. Okay, which will not be allowed to access by the students. Okay, but in the laboratory we have personal computers which can be used by the students. That is for students. Okay, so, can we use the same computer in both the places, in server and also personal computer inside the laboratory? No, because when you want, this server is a machine which is going to control all the client machine, all the personal computer machines which are there in our laboratory. Okay, so for each and every student, there will be a separate computer, but those computers are very what? When you're comparing with the server computer specification, that will have very low specification uh, in terms of processor speed, memory, everything, each and everything. If you take, that will be very low than the server computer. So for both the cases, you can't you select the same same what computer specification, technical specification, and also you cannot use the same operating system. Okay, for server machine clear, there are separate operating system which are called the server operating system. Okay, because the server operating system should handle, it should be very efficiently, it should allow the sharing. Okay, through the server only, we have only one printer. Okay, assume that only one printer in one laboratory, but inside the lab there are 50 computers. Okay, so when the students are taking the printout, in that one printer from any one of the PCs, they can take the printout. Okay, so how this sharing a single printer with all the computers are possible, how it is possible? Because of the server. Okay, so server machine should have a separate operating system, which is generally called server operating system. Okay, the server operating systems are Linux, Windows. Windows may which is starting from 200, Windows 2000, Windows 2002. All these are 2000 may whichever is starting. Everything is Windows server operating system. Okay, Windows Server operating system can be used for general purpose also, but general purpose operating system cannot be used for cannot be used as server operating system. Okay, so we can say server operating system is little one step or one level down to mainframe operating system. Mainframe operating system is very high end operating system, which should able to handle the big data center. Okay, but at the same time, server operating system is little lower than the technical specification of mainframe operating system. Okay, they run servers. Okay, which are the servers are which servers which generally are in network. Okay, in our at home we no need to use server operating system because we are not going to connect more than one number of computers using network. Okay, so where it will be used in the working place, in colleges, schools, where more number of computers are there, that are in LAN connection, LAN may Ethernet may they got connected. So then if it is in a network architecture, then we have to have what? Okay, so server operating system will support the computers which are there in network. Okay. So because this should allow to share the hardware and software resources. Okay. If in college, if for each and every student, each and every computer, we can't attach printer. Okay. So the system is able to share the resources, hardware resources and software resources. Okay. For example, suppose I am telling you to, you have to, in when you are working in our college, when you are doing the practical in your in our college, I am saying, okay, a new software should be should be installed. Okay, what we can do, we can install, instead of installing each and every computer in the server may we have to install first, and then we can share, okay, through the server. Okay. So that is one example. You can imagine now what would be the server system. Okay, the server system, which operating system is getting used, that is called a server operating system. Servers can provide many services: print service, file sharing service, web service, and all. Okay, internet service providers know. Now, when you're taking the internet connection, any internet, even when you put a Wi-Fi also, uh, you have to have the ISP, internet service provider. So they will have the generally they will have the server operating system in their server. Okay. Examples: Linux, Windows Server, 200X, Solaris, FreeBSD. All these are server operating systems. Okay. Now you understand what is server operating system. Now you will be able to compare the mainframe operating system and server operating system. Mainframe operating system is very big. It should support very big storage. Okay. It should support many types of processing, for example, batch, transaction, and time sharing processing. And certain very limited operating systems will be the mainframe operating system, generally Unix, Linux of any particular version. Or if you take Macintosh OS 360. Okay, so all these are generally used to mainframe operating system. Name of the mainframe operating system. Okay. Server operating system will not be used in a data center. It will support the database, size of the database like mainframe operating system, little lower than the mainframe operating system. The server operating system is one level down to the mainframe operating system. But when you're comparing with other personal computers and all, the server operating system is high-end operating system. Especially, it should support the network, the computers which are connected with the network. Because if all the systems are connected with a single network, then only you will able to share the software and hardware. Hardware sharing example is printer, sharing the printer, or sharing the scanner, something like that. And sharing the software is, as I said, one particular software will be installed in a server that can be shared by all the other personal computers. Okay. So this server operating system should support the hardware sharing and also or hardware resource sharing and also software resource sharing. Okay. Web server. Suppose you have created a very good e-commerce site. For your site, you want to use a separate web server, so you can use this system. Okay. Internet service providers generally use this. What are the services the server operating system will provide? Print service it will provide, generally file sharing service it will provide, a web service it will provide. Okay. Examples for server operating systems are Solaris, FreeBSD. Solaris, okay, SOLA, Solaris, RIS, Solaris. FreeBSD, okay, BSD should be written in capital letter. Okay. FreeBSD, Linux, Windows, servers 200X. Okay. So all these are server operating system. Okay. Next, multiprocessor operating system. The third one is multiprocessor operating system. Students, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
here is okay. Students. Okay, so are you taking the notes simultaneously? Are you noting down the points, important points? You have to do already. I said. Okay. Next, multiprocessor operating system. Multiprocessor operating system is only very common nowadays. Okay. So that is common in current computers. Why it is called multiprocessor operating system? Of course, multiple processor will be there. Okay. When I'm saying multiple processor, it is multiple core. You would have here dual core and all. That means 2-core, 4-core processor. So that is nothing but actually it is single processor, but there will be a abstraction. That processor, we can say that processor is splitted into 4-core. Okay, but anyway, if it is 4-core processor, simultaneously 4 instructions can be executed. Okay, 4 instructions simultaneously can be executed. Okay, when I'm saying execute, see. In normal without multi-core processor also, that will perform the multiple processing, but there the multiple processing is what, one instruction will be there in fetch state, one instruction will be there in execute state, one instruction will be there in decode state. That's why we are calling that as a multi-processing. But actual multiple processing is not happening there. Okay. Of course, there are 3 instructions at a time getting executed, but only at a time, only one instruction is there in execute state. Okay, not all the 3 instructions. Why? Only one instruction can be in execute state because there is only one processor. Okay, but here as we have more number of core, core of processor, multiple execution can happen. At a time, 4-core में 4 different instructions will be there in execute state. Okay, so we are calling this as a multiprocessor. Okay, so in the multiprocessor, the operating system which is used in a multiprocessor system is called a multiprocessor operating system. Okay, so this has multiple CPUs in a single system. So it will be very faster one because simultaneously execution is happening, more than one execution. So of course it is speed will be high. Okay, more computing power this will have. Okay, and generally this can also be called as parallel computers. Okay, the multiprocessor computer, that can be also called as parallel computer. So parallel computer and multiprocessor computer denote same. Okay, and then internally, if you see, multiprocessor system has a special motherboard which has multiple CPU sockets. Okay, so of course there are more number of cores. To locate that, we have multiple core. See, CPU is always single chip, no? Okay, in multi-core, how many number of cores are there? That many number of individual chip will be there. Chip. Okay, so to locate that, of course, we have separated CPU sockets. So inside the motherboard, by just looking inside the motherboard, you can say whether that is a multiprocessor or uniprocessor. How? If the motherboard of the processor has multiple CPU sockets, then we can say that is a multiprocessor. Okay. Multi-core matlab what? One CPU but multiple execution units. Okay, CPU will be one, but multiple execution units would be there. Okay, so that you have to remember about the multiprocessor system. Okay, Windows, NT, IE, all those are multiprocessor operating system. Remember, what are the points we discussed under the multiprocessor operating system, which is the third one? It is common in current computers. Multiple CPUs will be there in a single system. Okay, this will give more more than one execution unit, no? So this will give more computing power. Okay, and this can also be called as parallel computers. Okay, then you have to write about the motherboard. Motherboard of the multiprocessor system will have multiple CPU sockets. Okay, multi-core is nothing but a single processor but a multiple execution unit. Remember. Okay, so that is multiprocessor operating system. Next, personal computer operating system. The personal computer operating system will support, it is good enough for our personal usage. Okay, only one person is going to use. It is enough. Okay. This provide good support service to the single user. That's why it is a personal computer. Okay. So personal computer operating system we are seeing. Okay. So personal computer operating system provide good support and service to single user. Okay, because personal computers we will use generally for internet surfing, word may something we want to type, or spreadsheet may we want to create something, small paint applications, very basic operations we will perform using personal computers. But a personal computer also, suppose you are working in one IT company. Okay, there are many softwares and application you need to load, more programming you have to do. Then you should not go for personal computer operating system. Okay, then you can go for multiprocessor operating system. Okay, or the server based operating system also you can go. Okay, so personal computer operating system, to whom suppose my daughter, 8-year daughter, she's asking, mommy, I want a computer, because as she does not have computer. So what I can do, I no need to buy and give server computers or multiprocessor computer and all, because she's small child, very basic things, attending the classes, using the virtual environment, and just surfing the net, or listening song, or just watching movies, and word may something she will type, some assignment is there, ppt she will create. So for her I can buy and give what, personal computer operating system. Okay, more, it does not have more processing power, but at the same time a single user is using, and applications are very less, no? So it is enough. Okay, it will give whatever processing power is required, that it will give. Okay, so Windows Vista is this kind of operating system. In Macintosh OS may also, this is the personal computer operating system. Widely used for word processing, spreadsheet, presentation, internet surface access. For this only basic things you are going to do, you can go for personal computer, and you can load any personal computer operating system, Windows based or this yeah, Apple based. Okay. Then handheld computer operating system. Handheld computer operating system. Um, Initially, this handheld computer matlab what? A small device. We can't say that actually a computer. Okay. A small PDA, personal digital assistant system. Okay. Which will be easily fit inside the packet. Small devices. Um, that person initially the handheld computer operating system used in PDA. Okay, PDA, personal digital assistant. That is a small device like a calculator. Okay, but using that you can perform small calculate. As a packet mein kuch, if you want to calculate something, and you want to keep address book, and you want to see the calendar, and any memo pad if you want, just to keep note down some important points. So for that there is a device called personal digital assistant. So in that actually handheld computer operating system were used. Okay, later we need to type something, so keyboard, or we can't say keyboard, keypad. Okay, okay, because keyboard, when we are saying keyboard, it should have more number of keys. Okay, When we say keypad, very less number of keys will be there. Okay. So later the keypad merged with the PDA. And there are many more capabilities also gradually added with the PDA. Then the PDA creates separate user interface and a small CPU, low power CPU also embedded with the PDA. So like that, however, mobile phone gradually upgraded. Initially, we used the phone um, uh, initially you started to use a mobile phone only. See, at home, when we have the telephone, what will happen when call comes, being at home only we can attend. No, when we go out, we have to have a phone. Okay. So um, we started to use the mobile phone only to attend the calls, receive the call and make the call. Okay. When we are in out of house. Okay. That was the only intention to invent the mobile phone. Later, gradually, because that is a mobile, no, it has a mobility. You can take and move around wherever you go. So people thought, okay, why there are other requirements also. For example, now I am traveling in train. Okay. I want to watch movie. Okay. I want to listen some lecture. I want to listen, hear some songs. So like that, the requirement, people's expectation in mobility when they are moving, they require many things. So in the way, one after another, it was what added in the mobile phone. Okay. Actually, what is the use of the mobile phone? Making call, but we are nowadays we are what making call is very less. Okay, chatting and other things, watching movies, hearing lecture videos, all those, writing, keeping notes, all those only we are doing now. Okay. Like that only PDA also initially it was invented. It was used as a small electronic device, which will have calculator, calendar, address book, small writing pad and all. But later we attached keypad, and then we created a separate operating system. That operating system has a user interface, and then we created the small CPU for that, because some computation we need to do. Okay. So all those like that it evolved. Okay. The mobile OS should handle very efficiently telephony and digital photography and other functions. In later stage, this was used to take the photos and for the telephony. Okay. Different hardware, personal computer operating system and handheld operating system were invented later. Okay. But when you compare the personal computer and handheld computer, the handheld computer will not have hard disk. That is the only different. Okay. So handheld computers may whatever in the personal computer you can do, everything you can do, but um, it will not have the hard disk. Okay, that was the only different. Okay. Now example for handheld computer operating systems are palm, palm operating system, symbian operating system. Symbian operating system is a popular operating system in a handheld computers. Okay. In the handheld computers we used operating system. That operating system is called handheld operating system. Okay. So to understand every operating system, in which system it is getting used, that you have to know. Okay. Okay. So these
Ma'am,
are about
is
the hand.
handheld,
Can you
ma'am,
please repeat?
is
Yes.
handheld operating system and Android operating system the same?
Handheld operating system, Android operating system will support more applications to load. Okay. But this will not support. Handheld computer operating system will not support. Okay. But nowadays,
Okay.
remember, handheld computer operating system ऐसे कुछ operating system में नहीं है, because they started to consider the handheld computer is also mobile smartphones. Okay. This is before inventing, I can say before the smartphones getting popular. Okay. So now who's using PDA? Nobody is using PDA. We have mobiles, and what is the use of PDA? No. Okay. So this was before. Okay. So Palm operating system, Symbian, but Symbian operating system, no, that will support loading of what installation of some applications to some extent. Okay. Palm OS will not support. Whatever application is there, no, in the system, that only you can use. Okay. You can't newly install any applications where in Palm OS. Okay. I will repeat all the points of handheld computers because one of you asked. Okay. Initially, the handheld computer operating system used in PDA, Personal Digital Assistant System. Okay. PDA is a small device which is very easily fit inside the packet, which is commonly used for very basic small functions such as address book, calendar, calculator, memo pad, etc. Later, we added the keypad with that, and then we added more capabilities, and then we created user interface to access the available applications, and then we added small CPU. Okay. And then the difference between almost everything whatever we could do in the personal computer without installing the new applications, we will be able to do in a handheld computer. Okay. But then when you asked what is the difference between personal computer and handheld computer, of course, installation of many applications are not possible. And also hard disk was not there in the handheld computers. Okay. These are two differences. Okay. Next, about the embedded operating system and all, we will see in the next lecture. Okay. Okay, now these are basics. Okay. Actually, this and all we should not go very detailly because there are many concepts: scheduling, paging, segmentation. All those are very important topics. We should not miss. We have to see. So little fast we have to go. Okay. Okay. And another one, your PTM is when 1 second. We allocated teachers for FI students. 1 second, I'll say roll. Note down roll number 1 to roll number 32. Roll number 1 to 32. Sudha ma'am will conduct the PTM. Roll number 1 to 32. Okay. Roll number 33 to 64, I will be conducting. Okay. Roll number 33 to 64. Okay. Roll number 65 to 98, Archana ma'am will conduct PTM. Roll number 65 to 98, Archana ma'am will conduct PTM. Okay. Shruti ma'am will conduct from roll number 99 to 130. Okay. 99 to 130. Okay. So roll number 1 to 32 Sudha ma'am, 33 to 64 Sarojini, 65 to 98 Archana, 99 to 130 Shruti ma'am. Okay. So anything if you want to inform, for example, your parents are not available at that time when we are conducting the PTM, or anything before PTM, if you want to convey to the respective teacher, you can contact your respective in charge, PTM in charge. Okay. Okay.
When is it, but ma'am?
21 even. Wait. 1 second. I received a message regarding that. Roll number 20. Sorry. Date February 21, 22, 23. In this 3 days, as per the teacher's convenient, any day she may conduct. Okay. I think because there are 30 students under every teacher. Okay. So teacher will not, they have to take a whole day lectures also, no? So they will not get time. Okay. So 3 days have been given. We actually planned to conduct PTM for all the 3 days, 10 students. Okay. So your parent could not attend any one of the days. You can you can inform and you can tell your parent to attend the other days. Okay. February 21, 22, 23. These 3 days PTM will be conducted for FY. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes.
Mark sheet, no, we won't. We will not. Of course, your about your SEM 1 result, you received, no? You got, no? So because some of the students know, they will not say the result only to the parents. Okay, so parents should know you got the result, you received the result. Okay. So that we will say, and then your attendance. Okay. That means semester 1 attendance. Okay, not this one. Okay. And then your class test marks, your academics, and also the attendance will be discussed. And anything your parents want to share, they can share. Okay, they can freely ask anything, or they want to give some suggestion, something should be changed. Of course, suggestions are welcome from the parents. We are expecting suggestions from teachers, from parents actually. Okay. So any difficulties or any appreciation or anything is there, you can tell to your parents, and your parents also will say. Okay. Okay. You no need to afraid for PTM. Okay. Okay. So thank you, students. You all can leave. Anything else you want to ask? Okay. Okay. Bye. Bye. You can leave. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.